Welcome to the RETAY Nation Podcast. Join along with our team at RETAY as we bring you interviews, stories, and reviews from members of our growing community right to your ears. Whether it's in the blind, truck, or at home, we hope you enjoy the show. This is the RETAY Nation Podcast. Let's go.
Mr. Mike.
Hunter Flanders, how are ya?
I'm good, man. We're back to episode number 4 of the RETAY Nation Podcast. And I would say for myself that the itch is really starting to kick in for hunting season.
The itch is upon me. And hey, before we get started, for our 3 listeners out there.
Yes. Maybe we're up to 4 for episode
4. 4. Okay, good. 4. Hey, 4 listeners. Hunter turned 21 yesterday, so everybody just happy birthday. Happy birthday
I don't have that
to you.
Yeah.
Happy birthday to you. Happy 21st birthday to Huntington. What's your middle name? Earl Flanders. I love it.
Yep.
Happy birthday to you. So, what'd you do, man? Did you, go to McDonald's and get yourself, a soft serve cone or, go cruising for,
Dude, I didn't do any cruising. I should have did cruising. What do we do? Well, I actually turned 31, so, just a little older than 21. I wish I was turning 21. I had a little more P&V in my step back then, but went and got sushi with my wife. You know that. I'm a big sushi lover.
Yep,
There's an all-you-can-eat place near us, and I ate 50 pieces. So
I
forgot to send you the picture of the bill. And it's all you can eat, so I might as well get paid for my buck.
Yeah.
And then, let's see here. Then after that, I did a little work, some emails, answered some calls, cleaned the house. And we had some friends over. I got a Blackstone for my wife, and I made Big Macs in the Blackstone, which was pretty damn good.
Oh, really?
I made the special sauce from scratch. I got the sesame seed bun, onions, cheddar, double stacked them, toasted the bun on the Blackstone.
Me hungry.
Yeah, they were real good. I'll have to make them.
I haven't eaten yet today. I'm starving.
Oh, I had some leftovers. But, yeah, it was a good birthday. Good birthday, so thank you.
Yeah.
And, happy to be back here in the old Wapaka, town of Wapaka, doing another podcast with you. And like I said, the itch is real. I had a few of my buddies over last night, and they started just talking oh, we got to talk to, what's her name about that field to get permission. And we got her a gift card last year to a supper club and wrote her a letter saying thank you for letting us hunt this field. That's where we did opening day for teal, and we hunted there a few more times. And I guess, turns out, long little sidetrack, she's friends with my friend's mom, works with her. And when she got the letter from us, and she almost cried at work. She was so happy and appreciative. Cool. And turn of events, when we hunted this field, multiple people showed up who didn't have permission, who were going to hunt there if we weren't there. And she was just so happy to know that what was going on there. And that, obviously she knows the people now. And so, yeah, I think those are one of those stories, and those will probably lead us into the guests we have today and some of the questions I wanted to ask them. And, especially for you, how have things changed for you over the years, waterfowl hunting? I was talking to you last week about, getting permission from farmers. And if you're not knocking on their door every year, and to preface for all you, everybody, in the Midwest, it's a lot different than down south. And I can't speak to it in volumes because I haven't hunted down there a lot. But it seems like down south, everything's leased up for the most part. Very rarely will you get permission to hunt somewhere without paying them.
Right.
And we are starting to see that more up here.
Yeah.
But
got to pay to play.
Yeah. Pay to play. And so luckily, my family, my group, we've had permission for 10, 15 years now. Always take the guy a case of beer, some venison sticks, something like that to say thank you. Yeah. But yeah, it's changing. The field has changed.
Yeah. So yeah, what you guys did was great, and being a bunch of young fellas like you guys, that art is lost. So saying thank you in many ways is a big deal. Mm-hmm. So kudos to you and your group for doing that. That's a big thing. And the landscape's changed dramatically from when I was a kid to now. Knocking on doors, getting permission. There's 20, 30 guys. There's trespassers, guys that say they have permission. Man, one year on our lease, we had guys leave decoys.
Which is, one, illegal. Two,
they weren't supposed to be there.
Yeah, but one, you can't leave decoys in the field in Wisconsin.
This was on just a hole.
Yeah.
You know, and it was just like a little hole, and they left them there because they weren't supposed to be there, and they didn't come back halfway through the season. The farmer finally said, "You guys just pull them, get them out of there," and we left them with the farmer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we didn't want to take them. He just finally get them out of there.
Yeah.
But it's continuous like this, and it's just gotten worse. And for you folks that don't know Wisconsin law, but when they got rid of the interior goose zone,
mm-hmm.
it all changed, and it's just gotten worse.
Yes.
You know, because now guys can shoot geese anywhere. They don't need a tag to shoot it in the Horicon, Collins Zone area. They can shoot them anywhere throughout the state. So now guys that only wanted to go to that area, they had to have a tag to shoot it in there. They can shoot their ducks and their geese anywhere. So that's why you're seeing
a flood.
You know, people everywhere, which is great for the sport. Don't get me wrong. But what I don't like is the people that don't care and don't respect.
The bad eggs. Yeah.
There's no respect.
No.
There's no respect for other hunters. There's no respect for the landowners.
Mm-hmm.
They leave their stuff laid. We always pick up our shells. We pick up our garbage. Please, thank you. Exactly what you did. Show up and hunt is one of the big things, right?
Yeah.
And that is something that I think is really important, but the abuse that goes on out there just drives me absolutely bonkers.
It's crazy. Like, I cannot fathom showing up to a place to hunt without permission and just hunting it and just assuming that it would be okay that I could hunt there, which is crazy to think that.
Right.
And or show up and not having asked that year.
Right.
And just showing up and going back to a place that without saying, like,
right.
Hey, you remember me? Like, we're planning to hunt here this weekend. Everything's all good, right? Like,
right.
do we still have permission? And it's like, it's incredible. Like, more than I could ever imagine the people that do that.
Yeah. And yet I find out that, you know, younger generations will tear up some of these farmers' fields.
Oh, that's like the worst thing.
And then they don't let anybody in.
Right. You're done. They say we're done.
And they'll be like, hey, sorry, guys. I know you guys have always asked permission, but I'm not letting anybody in here anymore because I had a group in here. They left their shells, and they tore up my field.
They drove through my wheat field that was just coming up, and it rained 2 inches yesterday.
And I told them not to. You know, and it's just there's no respect. And I could go on a tangent forever.
Oh, yeah.
This generation, okay, they don't work. There's no respect.
The millennial generation. Well, I think, like you said, it's a long tangent, and you can't throw a whole generation into a.
No.
You can't have a couple bad eggs. Well, there's more than a couple.
Right.
Throw it into a whole generation. But like, I guess one of the things that now working with RETAY and more of the waterfowl side of things, and I've kind of worked in every little piece of inner sea fishing, bow hunting, big game, and now more waterfowl. Like, I would like to like really get that across to like this next generation is like this proper steps, and truly how important it is to do the right thing when you're hunting a private piece.
Right. And the thing too is you have to pass it down.
Right. Those are things that are taught.
Right. And we were taught the right way.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there's some times where guys lose their shit.
Yeah.
Like Mike Naris has been known to, like
loses cool
once in a while. And I've looked at some of the guys in my group and I'm like, either you're going to walk over there or I'm going to go over there. And if I go over there, it's going to be pretty ugly.
Right.
Because there's no need. I've had guys set up from us and they have permission for the next property over.
Mm-hmm.
But we got birds working and we talked about this.
Yes.
And they're purposely shooting.
To spook your birds.
Yes. And it's just like, there's no need to do any of this.
No.
You're ruining our hunt. You're educating the birds.
Well, dude, it's a karma. I'm a big karma guy, like, and I feel like, dude, it's gonna come back around you, and like,
but it ruins it. Like, I don't even want to go. I don't even want to go to this property anymore. That we got permission or we lease, because these kids
are gonna
be there no matter what. And we go and we would talk to the farmers, super nice, because we have permission of the hunt around there too. But they're like, well, you just got to work it out. figure it out. I'm like, yeah.
I've heard that so many times.
Yeah,
too.
forget
it. You guys need to figure it out. It's like, screw it. Let's not going to hunt there.
Yep. No, not just not.
Well,
I'm not going to do it because it's
going to be a problem.
I need to put I got to put positive energy into positive things.
Right.
And I don't need to be negative and put negative stuff.
Hunting's supposed to be fun.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And no, I hear you there. Like, it's just better off just not doing it. It's just, not to be negative today, but yes, why don't you just say who our special guest is?
Yeah.
We have a pretty good guest today.
Yeah, we got a special guest today. The fowl hunter himself, Billy Campbell, is going to be joining us right here before the Delta and Ducks Expo. So we're going to get him on the line here, folks, and do some
chatting,
some talking with the fowl hunter, Billy Campbell. So everybody stay tuned. We're going to get Billy on the line. All right, folks, we're back here with Billy Campbell, the fowl hunter. Billy, how you doing today?
Man, it's hot, baby.
Hot.
I'm very thankful you guys made time for me to hang out with you. That means I get to come inside in the AC. So,
how them chickens doing?
Sweating. You ever seen chicken sweat?
It must be like totally pouring down their beaks, huh?
I got little fans set up for them. They live in the high life down here, but it is hot. We were blessed. We got a lot of rain and with moderate temperatures most of the year. I mean, it was really crazy, and but it hit a couple weeks ago, and we had a couple pretty big storms come through. As everybody in the news is well aware, Southwest Texas got that bad, terrible stuff, and But since then, it's just been like 6,000 degrees. So hot.
What's hot. What is really 6,000 degrees? Is it 100 with like 120% humidity? What is that?
Yeah, so that's the deal. In all honesty, I don't think we broke 100 yet. We've been in the 90s, but it always feels like 100 something it's always a very high humidity. I mean, I want to say last week we had like 90-something% humidity. It's just crazy.
Yeah, that's terrible.
That's gross. So gross. I just had this picture running through my head that you got like little bandanas on all those chickens and roosters you got there. Sweat bandanas.
Oh, yeah. You know the little handheld fans you use at the beach?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just suspend one of those off of each one of them. They got a little leg deal that wraps around and hangs the fans.
That's awesome. So why don't you just take a second if people don't know who you are, and I know I said who you were, so just a little introduction and where you're at and what you do and all that kind of good stuff.
Sure, yeah, I appreciate that. My name's Billy Campbell. I live here in East Texas, and I shoot RETAY shotgun. That's all I do. I just shoot. I shoot all the time. shoot. Now, I help Dennis, also known as Dr.Duck. We thought it'd be super cool to just kind of record what we do. What we do is on public land, and a lot of everything we grew up watching was all wrapped around private land stuff. So we didn't have anybody to show us how to really make things work, be successful duck hunting on public ground. So we spent a lot of years making a lot of mistakes and finally found some success and started traveling a little bit and had a couple folks jump in and help us share our story, and then started just felt like that's something we'd like to continue sharing, is just having success on public land and trying to help other people not only experience success, but understand really what the definition of success is. And that's kind of what we've honed in on. We've been hunting together for 30 plus years, Dennis and I, and we've been filming, I guess, for about, I don't know, maybe 15, pushing on 15, 12 to 15. And it's just, like I said, we've just kind of honed in on the message of kind of boils down to us for really kind of Mark 12:31, just loving your neighbor, man. And so wild and crazy in this world today that if we can't get along as outdoorsmen, then we're in real trouble. So that's just kind of what we've focused on and tried to do with our videos and with our opportunities speaking at some of these events is just, you know, we all enjoy the great outdoors. We're passionate, whether it's about ducks or deer or just being out there, period. It's very important that we all learn to get along, help each other, and operate with that same team mentality. So we focused on that with a podcast, a YouTube channel, and we work with some really great partners that help us share that message, including you guys and Realtree and Gator Tail and a whole bunch of other folks. Speaking of, we're going to be sharing time, me, you, Gator Tail, all at this big event.
Yeah,
next week.
Yeah, we got Delta Waterfowl coming up, the Duck Hunters Expo this upcoming weekend, the 25th, 26th, 27th at the Oklahoma City Fairgrounds in Oklahoma City. So that's going to be one heck of an event, huh, Billy?
Oh, it's going to be a good time. And that's why my socks were wet. I've been loading that trailer all day. We're actually going to head there in the morning, but yeah, got the trailer loaded up and ready to go. It's always a great event, and very excited about it this year, being Oklahoma is a pretty central location. They've done a great job picking some pretty solid locations the last few years. It's a good time, and Dennis and I, like I said, we'll head out in the morning. We're really looking forward to sharing time with you, Gator Tail, and everybody else that's going to come hang out that show.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I gotta say thank you again for lugging all the RETAY down there for me. So that's
oh yeah, nice. One of them sweaty socks is all on you.
Well, I appreciate that. You gonna save that for me?
Oh yeah, I'll bring it. I'll put it in a baggie so it doesn't lose any of its luster.
Yes. Yeah, it'll be special by that time.
I appreciate that. That's nice. That's nice. Hunter and I were just before you jumped on, we were just talking about hunting up this way and all the ground that we have and we get permission to hunt on and whatnot, and you kind of hit on something that we talk about a lot, and we run into people that don't have permission, or there's trespass, or they're not as friendly out there as we would like them to be, and it really turns us off and members of our group off. And you just said, you know, love thy neighbor, and let's just talk about that for a second, because I think that's a big disconnect, you know, in our industry with generations. We were born and raised to enjoy the outdoors and to ask permission and be thankful for what we have, pick up after ourselves. You know, Hunter just told the story on, you know, they got permission and they thanked the lady and then gave her a gift card last year and wrote a nice letter to her, and she was practically in tears when she opened it up, you know, and that goes a long way. And then you have people that come in and they violate and they trespass and they tear up fields and they ruin it for the next person. Where do you think that generation gap is? You know, it's not passed down, but they think they have the right to do that. How do we fix that nowadays, Billy? What's your take on that?
Yeah, you've got a great point. And, you know, it doesn't stop with permission stuff. I mean, you think about all the folks that have given permission and had a bad experience, so they stopped giving permission. And then the other side of that is there's so much money involved with outfitting now that the rest of the people who give permission have leased their stuff out. So younger guys that want to go hunting, that now they can't get permission because those bridges have been burned or it's leased out for making money off the outdoor industry. Mm-hmm. They're forced to public land. And unfortunately, a lot of these young guys, you know, Dennis and I talk about a lot, the Duck Commander deal, and rest in peace, Phil Robertson, but they did so much to bring people to duck hunting. Unfortunately, a lot of these young men didn't know how to get it done, didn't know the right way to do it, and didn't have anybody showing them. Just like I said, Dennis and I didn't either, and we had to learn. But so you pushing all these people to public, and they're getting out here with some guys who are just kind of getting upset with the way they're handling themselves. So instead of helping them. They're kind of shunning them,
Yep.
which makes that situation worse. And you have this bickering and all this arguing. And on top of all this now, I've had representatives from Texas, Oklahoma, a couple other states on our podcast recently. And, that's creating a situation where states are putting more regulations in place now, keeping out-of-staters and limiting use of public land because they're just tired of trying to manage all the fighting.
Yeah, there's a lot of fighting.
It's just crazy. So, the answer to your question is I think that kind of gives a wide angle view of where that comes from, but how to fix it is bigger because it's kind of steamrolling right now. And I gotta say, Dennis and I have been talking like this and about these things for a very long time, and we've seen some other folks begin to talk about it, and that's where it starts. We all just, we got to realize there's an issue, and you guys obviously do. We do. I think a lot of other people realizing there's an issue, and unfortunately now with all these regulations coming down, there's a lot of other people realizing, hey, maybe there is an issue.
Right.
So we just, again, I just think back to how crazy everything is. And I lost my dad in an early age, Michael, but not before he introduced me to the outdoors.
Yeah.
And back then, this is the 70s. And, it seemed to me the good folks, the folks you wanted to be around, the folks you wanted to connect with were outdoorsmen. They're God-fearing people who, a handshake is a promise kept. These guys, they're good for their word. I mean, it's just, they're good people. And the hunting numbers have not gone up.
No.
While public land may seem more pressure as a result of some of these other things going on, the overall numbers have not gone up.
Right.
And it's, if it continues to go away, there's so many people, the industry that you guys are in are so well aware of all the regulations and fees and, trying to sell guns. I mean, there's a lot of people on the other side of this industry that would love to see changes.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And if we can't all get on the same page and get along, where this is going to end up is not going to be in a good place.
No, I agree.
Well, I think, that leads into something, like you're right. It needs to be talked about. I think everyone knows there's issues, right? Everyone likes to, pardon my French, bitch and complain about things, but a lot of people don't like to just, okay, well, there's an issue now. How do we fix it? So I guess let me ask you, when you pull into a duck hole that you've been scouting, it's on public land and you have a lot of time invested in, amongst other things, gas and just time into scouting, and you pull in this duck hole and there's some other people in there. How do you go about handling that situation?
Well, Hunter, I appreciate you asking. We're not as swift as we once were, so that's happening probably more lately than it used to. But for us, and I don't have, a lot of people say, well, today's generation just is so competitive. They want all these racing for holes, whether it be on foot, boat, the boat races, all these different things. They're just competitive and they want to win. And you know what? I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. And when we get to the hole, if we've been beat, the difference is for us, if we've gotten beat, I have watched Dennis. I mean, this is not something that started yesterday. This, like I said, we've been hunting together for 30 plus years, and he gonna shake their hand, tell them have a good hunt, and we're gonna leave. And that's it. That's all there is to it. We've been doing this long enough. We've got plan A, B, C, D.
Right.
I mean, we know what it entails, and the work doesn't stop with picking out a place you want to hunt.
Right.
The work really doesn't start till you try and get it, and then the real work kicks in when you get beat and you're scraping to make sure you're in a good flyway, but not putting too much pressure on somebody that's too close to you. So we slide far enough away where we don't impact their hunt. And that's it. And the shoe on the other foot for us is there are a good bit of holes we still win. Mm-hmm. And when we do that and people roll in, look, by the time we get there, Dennis, big homework guy, man. When he scouts, he knows how many people he can hunt, what the concealment's like, what it's going to take to be successful in those spots. And if it's just me and him and two guys roll up on us, we're gonna invite you to hunt with us. Look, you want to hunt here? A log of green looks a lot better with a 4-man than a 2-man. Yeah. I mean, not to mention the opportunity. I mean, what is life even about if you're not having an impact on others?
Right.
And so doing these things alone, the journey is much better when shared with other people. So we try and continue to do that today. And that's, a lot of people kind of throw licks at us for various reasons, but one of them is, well, y'all got friends in a lot of places. Well, we've got those friends because we hadn't been turds when we're out there.
Yeah.
And we try and explain to these kids, Dennis told a story just recently on one of our podcasts where we got in there and this gentleman come in and he got beat. They had boat trouble. It was a cluster, and we really had like 6, 8, 9 people in there, but what's 3 more going to hurt? It was him, his son, and a buddy. And anyway, hey, you know what? Y'all just hide that boat over there, drag it over there, and come jump in the hole with us. So they hunted with us. Anyway, when we got done, that guy told us he owned a lodge not far from there, but still enjoyed getting out on public land. And, wow. He told Dennis, hey, anytime y'all need a place to stay, you got one.
There you go.
Anytime. No questions asked. Yep. So you just never know. And that's a reason to do it. We should be doing it because it's the right thing to do. Yeah. But you never know some of these relationships you build when you're out there. So we always, Hunter, if we're there second, hey, good job. You got it. Hope you beat them up. We're going to get out of your way. Mm-hmm. And if we're in the hole first, if we got room, you don't always have room, but if you got room, we're going to ask them if they'd like to stay. And if not, hopefully they show us the same respect and treat us, the same way we would treat them. But, and I've heard so many great stories in the outdoors about people hunting together. Hey, we got beat, but they invited us, and I wanted to share that with you. They're always great stories, and you build such great friendships out there. So, that's kind of how we go about that deal.
Right. You kind of hit on something there, Billy, that I wanted to bring up. Talk about the journey. Enjoy the journey. Your little tagline you guys got going on. Why don't you talk about that a little bit? Because that kind of brings what we're talking about full circle here a little bit for me, and I know it will you, and it'll make sense to Hunter once you talk about it here. But it kind of gives me chills a little bit because it's important to our listeners and all of us. So,
well, I appreciate that. For me, I'm one of the most laid back dudes you'll meet until I'm not, and I tend to get pretty fired up in situations. And I was in marketing for 30-something years and in management, managed a lot of people over my tenure there with that one company. And I found myself, if you're not measuring it, it's not getting done, staying in business. And I really got gobbled up into that deal and got to where I measured everything. And it rolled into my hunting world as well. A lot of folks probably know someone that's into keeping logs, and man, I got to where I had spreadsheets on the weather.
Oh yeah.
And duck numbers, locations. I mean, everything. I would keep up with everything. Yeah. But it got to a point where Dennis would say, "Hey, I'm thinking about going to so and so tomorrow," and I could look in my spreadsheet, hit a couple buttons, and I go, "Nope, I'm out." He's like, "What do you mean you're out?" Well, these conditions, this time of year, it's going to be a terrible day. And I quickly realized something else I had been saying. You don't know if you don't go, right?
That's right.
You never know with ducks.
Yeah.
And even on those days that you think are going to be terrible, you just should keep going. You keep going, and all of a sudden you had that one day on a migration that you didn't anticipate for whatever reason, and it's the best day of the year.
Yep.
And so everybody asks me now at the end of everything, how was your season? How many ducks you killed? And I said, I have no idea.
Yeah.
I burnt up every spreadsheet I ever owned, and I quit keeping up with anything. I can't tell you how many ducks I shoot. I just quit counting.
Yep.
And it just sum it up. It's like when you get focused on all those results you're measuring, and you reach, let's say you reach that point that you're trying to reach at that point in time, what do? You just establish a new point, a new level, somewhere else you want to be. It never stops.
Right.
And you kind of lose focus. And when you talk about being successful, how do you measure success? Is it a limit? Is it reaching that point? For us, it really got to where, success is found in the journey itself.
Yep.
And it's, if you start overlooking the sunrises, the time shared with others.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I get people asking all the time, tell me about one of your favorite hunts. And I couldn't tell you how many of my favorite hunts didn't involve shooting a duck.
That's right.
Yeah.
And if I had relied on those numbers and defined success differently, those hunts may not have ever happened.
That's right.
Mm-hmm.
So when we talk about it, it's just trying to remind people, hey, you're passionate about that for a reason. And if you kind of take some time to reflect and think about it, the reason really isn't the limits. It's not about the numbers.
Right.
It's all the other things that go along with it. So pay attention to those things. Enjoy those things. And I really believe at the end of it, I'm not a spring chicken any longer, Michael. And I got to tell you, those things mean a lot more to me than the numbers do, if that makes sense.
No, 100%. And that's why I wanted you to touch on it, because I think that resonates with a lot more people out there than what you think.
So.
Yeah, it does. It really does, because there's days where, I'd rather sit there and I get yelled at for not loading my gun, or did you shoot on that end? I'd rather watch that dog Henry work. I see the smile on somebody's face. That's the important part to me. And many years ago, I was not a very nice person to hunt with, and it didn't matter what it was, because I was eaten up with killing big bucks, putting people on deer, lighting this flock of geese, getting the decoys just right, in their face, feet down, working them ducks just right. And if we didn't kill them all, I just was not a good person. And I realized one day, this isn't enjoyable for people, and I was ruining their journey. And it turned around for me many years ago, and I'm just glad you shared that story, because that's important to our listeners, and maybe this younger group that follows you and hopefully follows our three listeners out there, Hunter.
Yeah.
Understand that, and this generation that has this mental block that they have to, trespass and violate and ruin things for other folks out there. It's everybody's journey, it's everybody's passion, and they all want to enjoy their time. So, well,
I think, you kind of this kind of hit me in a spot now. I'm just sitting here thinking so I just had a daughter. She's a year and a half old. So my time in the field is definitely limited to whether it's waterfowl or deer hunting, whatever it is, fishing. And I think I do get caught up in I don't think I'm gonna go today because my time's limited, right? I can't just go as much as I used to as a younger man without a wife and kid. And you start thinking about those things, right, Billy? You start well, the weather's not good. I'm not gonna go. I'd rather go when it's a better day. And you can make up these excuses because your time's limited. But like you said, I could as you're telling the story, I could think of 3 hunts where we didn't shoot jack shit, but you know what? I probably laughed harder than I've ever laughed.
Right.
And the story that we tell with our buddies every time, we didn't shoot anything. But if I wouldn't have gone that day because I thought that we weren't going to have enough wind, I wouldn't have gone and at those times. So I'm going to take that piece into this hunting season for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
I like it. I like everything about it. And, you know, and I understand, you know, it's different with kids at that age. I mean, it won't be long. She'll be ready to go with Pops, but those early years are definitely difficult. But for men and women, adults, you know, I really believe personally that there's something about the outdoors, right?
Mm-hmm.
And God intended us to be out there, and that we live these lives where we're removed from the outdoors. We work in offices or buildings, or we got to go to town, and in a lot of situations, both parents work nowadays, and so the kids' outdoor opportunities are limited as well. And then you're tired, and then you got other responsibilities that consume your free time. It really is important for us as adults to take that time off. And for a lot of us, that time off may only be 3, 4, 5, 6 hours on a weekend, hunting or fishing. So, you know, again, it's not all about numbers. It's just being out there and experiencing the outdoors and cutting loose a little bit for sure.
Yeah, I hear you there.
That's right. So, hey, Billy, tell me, or shift a little bit here. Tell me a little bit about the Ace. What are you thinking about that new shotgun that you got to run a few times? And
the Ace?
Yeah. Air Controlled Extreme.
I mean, it just boils down to a new pair of tennis shoes. I mean, it's, you know how excited you are as a kid to put them new shoes on, and you in the Air Jordans now, and you walking on. I mean, you're literally walking on air.
Mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't know how else to explain it right now, other than that. I've had a lot of people reach out and ask me questions, and obviously I've got limited time with that in my hands to this point, but I'm very excited about going into this hunting season with my new pair of shoes.
Yeah. Well, I've had a lot of people ask, like, the Ace compared to the Masimara. Like, would you explain to listeners, like, how would you describe the changes, the differences?
It's just it's an upgrade. You know, you guys did a great job of, a lot of times when you get new products that come out, you will miss, for whatever reason, you will miss and you'll lose some of the things you really enjoyed about the previous version. And in all honesty, that's one of the coolest things to me. You guys paid attention to what people liked about the Masimara, and you kept all those characteristics of that incredible gun in your new model. And you actually, you know, a lot of times, I guess what I'm trying to say is when people are trying to make a better product, sometimes it doesn't end up that way because they've changed so much. And and you guys have kept all the great characteristics of the Masimara, and you just improved it with some very small details, paying attention to detail, first of all, and just adding some things that when you look at it, you just think, well, that's kind of common sense, really.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And you guys did a great job with that. I get a lot of folks there. A couple videos we've collaborated on with that on social media, and people message and like, oh, I've been shooting this brand or that brand for this long. This is just another synthetic shotgun, essentially. And I enjoy having those conversations with them because, and I'm an old guy, and that old dog new trick thing is certainly something that pertains to me. But when I started shooting RETAY, it made so much sense. And that's what I asked these guys. I said, well, if it's the same gun you're shooting, but it's got all these cool characteristics that are not on the gun you're shooting, and you can get it at a less expensive price.
Right.
Yep.
I mean, what help me understand where you're coming from.
Right. Yeah, yeah. Some people you lead a horse water, but you can't make them drink. But once you put it in their hand, and they understand it and they see it, they'll get it. Absolutely get it. And the nice thing about this is we got 2 shows coming up.
You're going to see the look on their faces, and that's been enjoyable for me. Like putting the gun in their hands, and you go, "Oh, by the way, this also does this. Like, have you seen this on a different gun? Like, this also does this. We also have this feature." Like, and seeing their face going, "Oh, I've never seen that." Well, that just makes sense. Well, yeah, there you go.
Right. Strip that gun down. It comes down in 3-4 pieces. Put it back together. Boom, it's done. Airy butt pad, reducing recoil up to 30%. Like Hunter shot this a few weeks ago, and he was just absolutely amazed with the difference in recoil from some other shotguns, and we did some testing. So it's just phenomenal. But like I was saying, people will be able to put in their hands at Delta
at
here.
the shows, yeah.
Yep. And then, Duck show, our booth, RETAY booth number is 140, and you guys will be there, won't you?
At the second show?
Yep, Ducks.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Nice.
Yeah, back to back, baby.
Back to back craziness.
Just enough time to come home, unload, reload, and head back out.
I know, it's crazy.
Yep. But yeah, you said 140. We talked about, we're in like booth 247 this weekend at Delta. Yeah. And it's a big booth. We've actually got like 8 booths. And as I mentioned earlier, our friends at Gator Tail are going to be hanging out with us, and obviously it'll be RETAY and Dr.Duck. I mean, it's going to be a really good time. So, folks that come by, not only they get to shake hands and talk ducks with Dennis, but they'll be able to see you guys brand new Ace and take a look at some of the new boats, and it's going to be the place to be.
Well, yeah.
I think.
I mean, there's a ton of new products, right? And tons of vendors and stuff that are exciting to see, which, kind of leads me into the next question with you is like, what new hunting technologies, you've been hunting a long time, and what new technologies and trends have you seen and are using in the last 30 years? Like, can you name maybe just 2 or 3 that have changed the way that you hunt and your success in the field?
I may sound arrogant when I say this, but there's a couple. A good gun has to take top of the list. Dennis and I've had this conversation recently, and I'll tell you. Well, the reason why is we brought back our backpack this year.
Oh yeah.
It's going to be available to ship out in September. And we actually just started taking pre-orders, and this show will be the first time. It hadn't been here in 2 years. It's a bag that's sold out. So when you ask that question, it may sound arrogant, and I don't intend that to be the case.
Yeah.
But Dennis and I have combined 60 plus years just in waterfowl, public land. And we spent so much time outdoors. A way to keep your gear organized and protected from the weather was always a challenge for us. Dennis was a bag guy. I was always a backpack guy. And it was just always, we would get a different bag every time we could afford one, just trying to find the right one, if that made sense.
Yeah. Sure.
Obviously, there are things more important maybe to the hunt when you talk about shooting, because you got to have shells, you got to have a gun. Most people feel like you got to have a boat and decoys. And the next thing on that list for me is when I take those shells and there's so many things with batteries. You got to have snacks. You got to have gloves, and I like to carry a set of gloves that I can use during decoys, a set of gloves for driving a boat. I mean, there are other things that you're going to carry along, and I've never really had a really, really, really good way to keep that stuff organized and safe in the weather.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kept tinkering with bags. We did Hunt Locker, we did Hunt Locker 2, we did a blind bag, then we got to the Journey bag, and this is Dennis and we really approached it from a locker perspective. Look, duck hunting's a big sport now. what big sport doesn't have a locker?
Yeah.
So
you're right.
That's what we did. We developed that so you could put it on your back, made it completely waterproof with very expensive wetsuit zippers. And look, the bag ain't cheap, especially with all the things Daddy Trump's doing overseas, but it is what it is. But we did do a limited run, and we're very excited to have that bag back. And if you're talking about new products at this show, this is a big one. It really is a game changer, and we're very excited to have that back. And again, I would fall back to guns. I mean, look, there's a lot of tricks in this industry. I've seen guys that go out and hunt 2, 3, 4 years, and they want to develop a new way to shoot a duck. And I think that's exciting. I love it. The ingenuity and the thought that outdoorsmen put into chasing game is brilliant. It's always fun to watch. But at the end of the day, especially later in the year it gets, I could take a jerk string, 6 decoys, and as long as I got a shotgun in my hand with shells, I can find numbers if I put in the work to do it. So I probably, I can go with less is more on the regular. The other side of that is when you're on public ground and you got 6 guys around you in a close proximity and they're all running tricks. Sometimes it's tough to be competitive, so that's a different situation. And we like to be competitive. And the Bluebird animator comes to mind. Spinning wings have been around for a long time, and that guy over there, he's coming out with an updated version of his animator. I haven't seen it yet, but it is something that we started using a year or 2 ago, and it's very neat. This guy kind of relies on not just water movement, but the sound, the pitter-patter sound of, he tries to emulate the sound of these wings on the water. It's very interesting. That's something that I would pay attention to at this show. Obviously, again, a gun's always going to be number one. And what you guys have done in the gun industry, in my opinion, is just how fast you're moving with such a reliable product. I got to admit, you've been a great partner and always willing to help us out with a new gun or whatever. I'm still slinging the same one. I'm not. I mean, I hadn't got my hands. Dennis has an ace. I hadn't got my hands on it yet for this year. I know that's going to happen. And here again, I get back to the old dog new tricks. I can't wait. It's a great gun, and I'm going to use it. But the other side of me is I still got one you gave me years ago that's just still cranking them out. And, I didn't come from a situation with a lot of money where every time you wanted something, you were able to go out and get it. So a lot of times I would, I had another gun 20-something years ago that I shot until the guy said, "Look, you can't fix this gun. It's dangerous to use. It's sent too many shells down the barrel." That's just how I am. And you guys' product has more than survived that test. I mean, I'm going to shoot the ace, but this other one, he ready to get back out the field.
That's awesome. Well, I guess in the same sense, what products and trends have you seen that has maybe hurt you or hurt the industry, like the waterfowl hunting? Like, what are things that you think are maybe a negative impact or products you're like, I think that's probably not helping us as a whole?
That's a really good question. I'm going to sound like a turkey hunter when I say this, I think. But what?
I was going to say, too many options in camouflage clothing. This jacket, that jacket.
Oh, no, that's never a problem. Never a problem. Shell technology.
Okay, yeah, I can definitely see where you're going with this one.
Yeah, I think, you hear about it more in turkey hunting, but the thing you really hate to see in duck hunt, I don't care what tricks you run or if you don't run tricks. In January, I can go find buck brush, not take any decoys, kick the water, and kill a couple mallards. Early in the year in a big hole, I'm going to need a big spread. I think we ran 20 spinners opening day just because we didn't want to get outperformed by the circus next to us last year when they started allowing that stuff on Arkansas public land. So it's your journey. So however you want to travel that journey and whatever you want to do that you think helps you find success and within the regulations is, I don't know that I take issue with any of it, honestly, Hunter. Mm-hmm. But if I had to provide an answer, again, I'm going to sound like a turkey hunter, but the technology with shells is so good that in the last 2 or 3 years, I've shot you guys 20 gauge, which I love. And for years, I was a 12 gauge. I probably would have shot 10 gauge if I could afforded it. And I'd shoot a 6-inch shell if I could.
Yep.
I wanted to throw everything I could at every duck so I could make sure I killed it dead.
Yep.
Well, the last couple of years, I ain't shot none but that 20 gauge with Migra in it. And I mean, I used to complain about the price of these kinds of shells, but in all honesty, I'm shooting so much less with them.
Yeah.
The thing is with us, we like to shoot. Our game is not killing the duck. Our game's tricking the duck.
Yeah.
So, Michael, you brought up not shooting in situations and somebody complaining about it, or I find I will get stuck in that same situation a lot where I'll finish these ducks a lot for our group or Hunter. We got some other guys. It depends on the day. Every day is different. Ducks like different things on different days. But if I'm that guy today and I'm just sitting that bird down with just the tiniest little chuck just to finish him right where I want to finish him, and that duck is hitting the water, I'm like, success. I mean, that is the pinnacle. That right, game over. That's it. Now everybody, somebody's hollering, kill them, and everything else going on. And I'm not going to say I don't sit here and shoot ducks, but it's not shooting the duck; it's getting the duck to that situation.
Yep, I hear you.
With these shells and this technology, you will see a lot of guys who are not able today to finish that duck. And they just know they can kill that duck at 50, 60, 70, whatever yards now with these great chokes and great shells. And you'll see guys, I mean, there will be situations where I can see if we're in hole A and these guys are in hole B and we lose those ducks to those guys, we're going to stop calling.
Yep.
If those ducks are working them. Now, if those ducks lift up and get between us again, game back on, right?
Yep.
But we're not going to hail and try and blow these ducks off with somebody else. And so many times I'll see those, and I can still see them, and they're about to die when they dip, right? And you can't see the ducks anymore.
Yep.
Well, you'll hear shots while these ducks are still above the treetops.
Yeah.
And you'll see one or two fall because of the shell technology. And okay, so the guy's a good shot. That's great. But what did you really do? You didn't trick that duck.
Yeah, right. I hear you.
Educating the other ducks.
Exactly right. You are exactly right. So, if I had to answer that question, I'd probably, the shell technology, and it's not a knock on them, shoot. The Migra stuff, the stacks that we shoot, and there's a lot of great brands out there, but man, that Migra stuff is so good that I'm not going to lie. There are situations where we'll dump 6, 7 ducks and I'm still sitting there dancing because I sat them all on the water. And then I decide, I better shoot. And I see one trying to get out and I'll turn and just smash it.
Yeah.
Now that's not a shot I would have taken on the way in, but the last thing I want is that the duck to get out and share with everybody else what he just saw.
Yeah.
So it's my responsibility as outdoorsman to go ahead and take that one home.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I hear you there.
Right.
Well, yeah, the art, I think, going back to what we said earlier, getting lost in about numbers and, you know, how many you kill, like you're just trying to just kill as many as you can versus like the true art of hunting in itself. It doesn't matter what game you're chasing, is tricking the game.
Right.
That's right.
Finishing that bird in your lap so you can have a quick, clean, ethical kill.
Right. And we don't need anybody telling their buddies about what happened.
Yeah.
That's right.
The old scout comes with the first ones that come in. Yeah, got to kill the scout. Don't let them go back.
Yeah. Well, Billy, I just got one more thing real quick here.
Y'all trying to get rid of me?
No. Well, we're running upon almost an hour here, so but give me just a quick funny story on Pedro. For you people that don't know, Pedro is their camera film dude. Funny story on Pedro. We're going to put him on the spot here because one of these days we're going to have him on a podcast. And Hunter's background is he produced a show here in the Midwest for many years, and he was I
was the cameraman, so I know what it's like to be picked on.
Yeah, so give me a good Pedro story. Oh boy, one that you can tell. Sleeping in, eating all the donuts, Little Debbie's, no toilet paper in the locker bag. What was it?
So I'm gonna share this with you, and Hunter will have a deep appreciation for this, being a camera guy. Excuse me. Our typical day, if you're on public, you're probably going to get up around midnight or 1.
Yep.
I typically just wake up before everybody else. I still like to have a cup of coffee. I don't like to be rushed. Getting to be an old man, I guess. But so I'll get up a little earlier. I'll make sure everything in the boat's, too many years hanging with Dennis, watching fuel levels not be where they're supposed to be, or experiencing trauma in the woods at early hours of the morning. They're great stories, but they're just so not fun at that given time.
Yep.
So I'll get up early. I'll go check the gas levels. I just like to take my time and make sure everything's in order. And Dennis rolls a different way. He got one thing on the mind. That's that big old fat green head. That's just, it's always been like that. That's how it is. And I'm fine with that. And paying attention to gear and such is not his forte. He's very rough on stuff. Anyway,
are we talking about Dennis or Pedro here? Which one are we going after?
I'm talking about Dennis right now, but you'll get what I'm saying here in a second. So he's just not paying attention to equipment is what I'm saying. So our schedule, we'll get up midnight or 1. You got to run these rivers in a lot of areas. Most WMAs you can't get into 4, so then you got that going on. And then, of course, you're just fiddling around, cutting jokes and eating snacks till shooting time. And then you got the hunt. And then if you're in an area where you can scout, or hopefully you get done and everybody else is done shooting, and it gives you some time to fiddle around the woods, which is always a good time. And maybe you can, find another group of ducks that you could go after tomorrow. And then you get back to camp and you get everything tidied up, the birds cleaned, everybody eats, and next thing you know, the sun's going down already and it's time for bed. So we keep long days. As a cameraman, you got to keep your batteries charged, keep up with your equipment. And I mentioned where Dennis is with equipment on this. We determined that the group of ducks we were going to chase tomorrow was in another location. And we were pulling the second boat out, and Pedro is a great help and always likes to jump in. So in his process of moving some gear around, he sat the camera bag behind Dennis's boat tire.
Oh, yeah. Jeez, yeah.
did I mention Dennis not really paying attention to equipment and how hard he can be on it?
Oh, that equipment's not cheap.
So Pedro, in his effort to be, as he always is, such a big help, jumps out and helps load boat number 2. And, everybody's kind of in a mad dash to get where we're going and do some things different. And Dennis has already jumped in his truck and threw it in reverse and rolled right over the top of Pedro's camera gear. And the debate was on, the chicken egg thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
It was, why I can't believe you ran over my camera gear. And of course, Dennis can't believe Pedro set it right behind the back tire.
Yep. I hear you there.
Kind of deal. But that was an interesting looking lens by the time that ordeal got finished with. He was convinced he could still use it.
Ooh.
It would just be in a very specific situation because it didn't move anymore. But anyway, that was a safe one to tell. So many things happen over the course of the season but Pedro's, his willingness to always jump in there and help, drop everything, and he indeed did drop everything that day. And Dennis was kind enough just to flatten it into the gravel for him.
Yeah, that happens. Oh, well, us cameramen, we have it rough, but, I haven't broken anything super bad like that. A few drones, but you'll have that.
That was drones are always a good story.
Oh, yeah. So I got enough of them. That's for sure.
The famous last word.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it'll be fine. It'll be just fine.
Rub a little dirt on it. It'll be fine. So That's right. That's right. Well, brother, we appreciate you being on, Billy, and I guess I'll see you in a couple days here, Thursday. So it'll be good.
Yeah, for sure. I'm super fired up. I hope. I don't know when you're posting this up, but I hope anybody listening. We're going to be there till Sunday. So
yep, we'll be Sunday, and then we got Ducks right after. RETAY booth is 140, so that'll be good. Delta this week, and it'll be great. Dr.Duck Company booth 247 at Delta. So we're gonna get this.
It's gonna be a great time.
Yep, we're gonna get this out here Thursday, so it's gonna air pretty quick.
Awesome. Well, looking forward to sharing time, Hunter. It's a great honor to meet you and share the conversation. I appreciate the opportunity to be here and share this time together. It's always fun, and I'm really looking forward to doing it again in a couple days.
Sounds good, brother. Safe travels, and we'll talk to you soon, Billy.
Sounds good. See ya.
Well, Michael, another successful podcast. Like you said, this is going to be out the week of the show, so I will be editing this up tonight, make sure it's out this week. And once again, we'd like to thank Billy for hopping on. Make sure you guys check out Dr.Duck, their social medias, their Instagram, YouTube, their TV show. A lot of great things coming out of those guys, and we certainly appreciate all their support they've shown us. And we appreciate you guys listening every week. And make sure you tune in for our next podcast, and we'll catch you next time.